Good evening, one and all. This is Muthu Kumar. I'll be the host for today. And let's go ahead with the session. So may I request all of you to kindly mute your phone so that we can start the session. Possibly if you can sit in a place where you're not disturbed, it will be great. And probably you have any questions, you can ask at the end of the session so that it goes undisturbed. So the agenda for today is that first we will have welcome and introduction. Then you will get to hear about the journey so far with Disciples India Group and Disciples India Learning Forum. And we will have guest speakers introduction, and you will have the session continued. What is the vision of Disciples India Group? To excel as a focused and fulfilling learning destination for a new age growth aspirants. And the mission is we will be a practice-based professional training and consulting platform through novel and relevant process of transformation to individuals and organizations. The core values are honesty, hard work, healthy, honor, and happiness. Disciples India Learning Forum is happy to present a platform purely for joy of learning. And what are its objectives? To provide a platform to share and exchange ideas and experiences, to create and develop personal and professional network of learners, to enhance effective communications and leadership skills, to foster learning and contribute for personal, professional, and organizational development, to update with life management skills and contribute as an effective member to the society. That was a quick video of what Disciples India Group is all about. So let's move on to the next slide. So Disciples India Learning Forum Committee, Organizing Committee has members like Dr. A.M. Suresh, who's the advisor, and Dr. Sandhya, the president, Muthu Kumar, the vice president, Mr. Parthos Matai, the secretary, Dr. Satish, joint secretary, Mr. Shiv Prasad KM, the treasurer, and Akhilesh, the executive member. So about the session so far in Disciples India Group, in 2018, we started in 2018, we continued in 2019, then 20, then 21. So far we did about 92 sessions. And today's session is all about post-COVID-19 changes in aviation industry and career opportunities. And the guest speaker would be Mr. Vishnuvardhan. And we are doing this in association with Dr. Kariyappa Business School, Vogue. May I request Sheetal Prashantan to introduce the guest speaker, please. May I request Sheetal Prashantan to introduce the guest speaker, please?
Yes, sir. Today we have gathered here for the 93rd session of Disciples India. And the topic of today is post-COVID-19 changes in aviation industry and career opportunities. And today our guest session is by Mr. Vishnuvardhan C. And he's associated with Indigo and AirAsia. And he's a strategic and tacticians with nearly 9 years of exposure across airlines administration and operation procurement, airport security, airport travel management, asset management, infrastructure, vendor development, client service, aviation, training, etc. And adroit in handling airport and airline operations for minimizing error levels and enhancing productivity and implementing service strategies according to the industry standards. And now I welcome. So that's all about our guest. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Sheetal. All right, so would you like to share the screen? I would now stop sharing the screen so that you can, Mr. Vishnuvardhan can share the screen and take it forward.
Yeah, sure.
All right, over to you, sir.
Well, firstly, good evening, everyone, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some knowledge and to spend some time with you this beautiful evening. Well, about me, as Sheetal had already told, that I was working with aviation sector over the last.
You're really not so audible, Mr. Vishnuvardhan. You got to be a little louder.
Is it better? Is it better?
Yeah,
check
one. Little better.
Yeah. So I was saying that thanks for giving this opportunity. Firstly, to Disciples India.
I think there is some connectivity issues.
Just a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on mute actually. You're on mute, Mr. Vishnuvardhan. Would you wanted to share your screen and check if you're audible? Give us a few seconds, guys. There is some technical glitch. Maybe he's taking care of the
so sorry.
No problem.
Mr. Muthukumar, is it better now? Is it better?
Yeah. Yes, very much.
Great. Thank you. So sorry about the trouble. There is some issue with the Bluetooth device which I'm talking on.
Glitches are bound to happen.
Yeah. So I was saying that, firstly, I would like to thank Disciple India Group for giving me this opportunity to share some knowledge and tips about the aviation industry, which I was working for the last almost 10 years, which is almost a decade now. And it is good to see a lot of people who are interested to learn more about the aviation, which is an key in the transport industry. And it was indeed a pleasure to me for being here and sharing my thoughts and processes with you. And if there are any questions, you can always pitch in at the end of the session. We will discuss together and we could iron out the issues and see how the way forward is. So I'll just share my screen. One second. Can you all see my screen? Is it better?
Not yet. We are not able to. I think yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are able to. Yes.
Great. Okay. So, like Mr. Muthukumar has already told that what is the drastic and tremendous changes that took place in the aviation industry post COVID-19, and what are the career opportunities that has been developed over the last 1 to 2 years after the pandemic. We see that the pandemic is still not over. However, the industry had took a steep turn in terms of growth, expansion, and also in terms of the career opportunities that going around the airlines. Well, let me take you through the next slide. So this is our agenda for today on what we will be talking, discussing, and how we can take it forward. I will talk about the futuristic insights of aviation market in India, and what are the latest innovations and technologies that have been developed within the industry, and also a couple of statistics and reports related to all our domestic airlines and the future career opportunities, which I will be covering up on this session. Um, Going to the next slide. So basically, I would like to introduce this session with something saying that, modern world is driven by the economy, which is in turn dependent on the transportation. May you take railways or maritime or inland or air, it is the key. The transportation is key to the entire globalization, and aviation is one of the important factor that connects with the society in terms of goods and services, trades, job, healthcare, and tourism, and many other factors. The aviation is involved in the transportation industry. It is the major streamline of the entire network or the globalization that has been happening across the globe. And so we will dig more deep inside it, and we will see how the world has been changed at the end of this pandemic, and we will discuss more in the future slides. Basically, the aviation is something which is very volatile industry, I would call, because every time the change comes and the change needs to be accepted, and it has to be delivered across the different parts of the country, which I would say. As you know that by in the last over 100 years, or about 100 to 105 years, aviation industry has reached the milestone of 1 million plus commercial flights around the world every day. So this growth has been the catalyst to the rapid globalization that we see today in the aviation market, especially in India. Why? Because India is currently the ninth largest aviation market with a passenger throughput of 3.4 million. As of this is of 2019, just before the pandemic starts. 2020, we were hit by the pandemic, and more than 85 international airlines operate to India, and five Indian carriers, which are international Indian carriers, which operate outside of India over to the 40 countries. And the first and foremost amongst is our Air India, which was been our national carrier, and now it is under the Tata, as you all know. And the United Nations predicted that by 2050, two-thirds of the world population will be living in the cities, according to the sources from ICAO, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization. And so currently we are at the ninth place in the aviation industry statistics. But by 2024, the Indian aviation economy is boomed up to be, and it is going to scale up to the third position. And this was the latest reports that has been come forward. This has all happened because of the investments. This has all happened because of the ideologies and these policies that are being supported by the government over the last 10 years, I would say. And this gives a lot of hope to India in terms of aviation. So India is considered to be one of the toughest aviation markets in the world due to the high fuel prices, over capacity, intense price competition, etc. And we have a lot of other things which need to be deep drilled, which cannot be explained in this particular session. But however, I will try to take you through some little bit of insights more in my future slides. By 2028, the forecasted contribution of travel and tourism to India's GDP is expected to be around 500 billion USD. To be precise, it is 493. But let's see how it goes and how it booms up. Taking to the next slide. So basically, there is a strong demand in the across the India, as we have discussed in the earlier slide. So the demand can be boomed up only with the support and the investments, as you already know. So basically, if you see the screen, it shows how the demand is growing up and how the government policies are supporting to this demand and how the investments are getting increased in this particular industry. So you can see the slide, how the demand steep is up, where you can see the domestic and foreign tourists and travelers are increasing on a day by day. India is developing on tourism and attracting investment from various countries, especially in the aviation industry. There is a strong growth in the external trade as well. Especially compared to the passenger traffic, the cargo traffic has been increased post COVID-19, which is a great deal in during the time of the pandemic, where we are sought to operate only the cargo flights, and that has attracted the international trade regulations to look at India and how the industry is transforming here. And expanding the group and the working population had also become a need for the aviation industry. Why? Because when you have the business increasing, apparently you need people to support it. And apparently you would also need the government support, and there should be some user-friendly policies that has to be implemented, which is one is the FDI, I would say, foreign direct investment policy SOPs. There is this open sky policy and code sharing, etc., were being implemented over the last decade, and due to which we could carefully observe that lot of privatized and a lot of career opportunities are being created, and private sector participation has become more nowadays, and projected demand is making attractive things to this particular aviation industry. I would say it is definitely a glamorous industry, because every turn you have a development, every shape that it takes shows uniqueness. So that is the beauty of this industry, I would say, over my last 10 years, which I could feel of. And so going to the next slide. So we will be able to cover up a couple of innovative and technologies that had happened over the last 5 years, specifically across India. So which is one is the faces, which is nothing but this faces is a technological advancement by using the facial interface to detect the passengers before entering the airport, providing seamless security. So it is we had come up from a situation where we used to write the passenger details on the boarding passes before they embark on the flight. And now, due to this technological advancements, we could have the camera installed, and the passenger could be able to link up his Aadhaar card in the system, and he would be easily be detected and boarded onto the respective flights. That is the advancement that we are seeing, and this has been tested across Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, and this technology has already now come to India. And also there is a something called automated kiosk. It is providing a niche experience to the guest by simply scanning their boarding passes, the QR codes on the cell phones that will instantly generate their boarding passes, and they can straight away walk into the aircraft. And that kind of kiosks have been developed, and this has been tested at the Delhi airport, and it was being found to be successful. And it has been launched across all our metro airports. To be in fact, airport authority has taken a major step in the success of this automated kiosk implementation. The self baggage drop kiosk, which you already know if you might have traveled recently, where you don't have to go through the line in the check-in counter. You can just drop your bags, and you can print your tag, and you can tag your bags, and you can leave it on the respective belt, where the belt will directly take through the baggage will be taken through the screening area, where the baggage gets screened, and followed by this bags will be redirected to the aircraft, which is a beautiful self baggage detection system which has been implemented. And this has been taken from the European countries, and they have been found successful across. Even in our Bangalore airport, if you see, most of the airlines are participating in this self baggage drop kiosk implementation. And this is a technology which is embedded with artificial intelligence, and there will be a minimal human intervention due to this, and this is for the ease and the convenience of the passengers. Whenever you travel next time, please experience this at our Bangalore airport, which is a wonderful and a beautiful curated implementation done by the BIAL team. So lastly, coming to the smart security scanners, which is also called as the full body scanners, where you go inside the sterile hold area, which is the security hold area we call, before you enter the boarding gates at any airport. There is this particular scanner where the CASF personnel will be standing, and he will be checking and screening through our body. To minimize this human intervention, there is something called the smart security scanners, which is widely known for its additional security measures, benefiting the CASF and airport security, as well as the airline security. And you just have to go and scan in the particular machine, where it will scan you 360 degrees, top to bottom. In case of any infringements that are being hidden or something, can be detected during that scanners. And this is completely healthy, and it is completely safe. There is no intervention of X-rays or whatever powerful rays that has been installed. This is one of the latest innovation that has been developed. And moving ahead with the next slides, this is something which is very interesting. Presenting a data or the statistics of the Indian market aviation airlines, which are the big players in the industry from the last 22 decades, I would say 20 years probably, yes. And so you can see on the screen that a lot of other airlines like Indigo, SpiceJet, Air India, Go Air, AirAsia, Vistara, this is the actual domestic market share over the last 2021 to 22. That is the current financial year statistics. You can see Indigo on top with 55% market share, and second being with the SpiceJet on 13.3%, and Air India being third at standing at 9%. So this is extremely assumed or presumed to be increased on a large scale. The market share has been scaled up over the last 5 years, as we've discussed in the earlier slides, and it is expected to come out more. By the acquisition of Air India by Tata's, we could definitely see a change in the numbers over the next 5 years, and we would hope that this industry would come back with its flying colors very soon. And the situation is also favoring the airlines by increasing their market share and expansion of their network, and etc. You can see this all the airlines have been recorded here, and this is an information which has been provided from Director General of Civil Aviation's website, where you can also have a look at it when you get some free time. And I'll take you through the next slide. Yeah, so basically any airline's centric nerve of operations will be its on-time performance. It is basically interrelated to the passengers' connectivity from one point to the other point, and how timely the airline is performing is what you can see at this particular airport, map. I mean, the pictorial representation. The OTP is nothing but performance is something which is a heart of the airline, which attracts the crowd. This data is taken for 4 airports, namely Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. This is for the month of May 2022, which is the previous month. And AirAsia had been at the first by representing an OTP percentage of 90.8%, wherein Vistara with 87.5%, and Indigo stands at third with 82%. It is basically the number of flights operated against the number of flights reached its destination on time. That's all. It is very simple. And aviation industry works upon the punctuality and this OTP performance. When it comes to the aircraft, when it comes to the staff reporting, when it comes to anything that are being carried out at the airport and the airline functions and operations. So you could have a look at this, and this is the data which is collected for the month of May, and it is for the 4 major metro airports, namely Bangalore, Delhi, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. So this is the scheduled domestic airline data. There are non-scheduled operators also where the OTP will not be recorded. So taking you through the next slide. Okay, So we will come to the second section of the webinar, which is the crucial part, which is the career opportunities post COVID-19, I would say. And you can see on the left side of the screen that new airlines in the BLR, which is the Bangalore Aviation Hub, because Bangalore is considered to be one of the India's aviation hub, and we could see that we anticipate that two to three new big players are coming into the market, like Akasa Air, Jet 2.0, Tata's Air India now, which has been recently acquired by Tata, and the Akasa Air, backed up by Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, is turned out to be a big sensation in the aviation industry by placing an order of 100 Boeing 777 aircrafts at once. And we place the order for an aircraft, the airline is set up to be big. It attracts a lot of career opportunities, not only in terms of ground personnel, pilots, cabin crew, cargo operations, and security, airline security, administration, procurement. All these kinds of opportunities are coming forward in the next couple of years. And this is one of the most and effective crucial time where you can upskill yourself to get into the industry with varied options across the market, and you can scale up your knowledge levels up in the aviation. And the recruitments in this particular firms have been started actively and in a consistent manner. There is a definite demand for the rise in staff, and also it is not only across the one particular airline. The demand is attracting by the airport operators, its third party subsidiaries, and also in the transportation industry, and as well as the new players who are coming into the market. There is a drastic expansion of airlines which are happening for both domestic and international. And since that, when there is a rise in passenger traffic, apparently there would be a rise in business, which will which will cooperate the explosion of these career opportunities. So increased passenger traffic is also one of the major factor that had helped to boom up these career opportunities in the aviation industry, which has happened after COVID-19. And we see that a lot of airports are getting privatized nowadays. Like Adani had taken up Jaipur, Mumbai, and many other airports which are in pipeline. And also GMR is rapidly expanding. It has recently taken up Goa Airport and Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, and many other airports which are in the pipeline, where these people, these entities are working towards constantly for the betterment and improvement of the industry with the less cost, less operating cost with higher efficiency. And it is also making a way for the welcoming feature of latest technologies and innovations that are happening. So it is a great value added addition to the aviation industry, I would say, in terms of the privatization of the airports. Taking you to the next slide. So getting inside the aviation is not that really tough, or we don't require a sophisticated or qualified people, but we have some basic requirements while we recruit. Me as a person, I have recruited a lot of people across the country, and we always basically follow a basic standard of our structure, which we look at a candidate when he comes for the interview. Something like, he should be good in communication. He should be in a presentable manner. He should be disciplined and self-motivated. He should be a very good team player, because you tend to work with different types of people with different various departments, and you have to deal with a lot of different passengers in the customer front or in the back end with the other department colleagues. So you should always think that aviation is as a one family, and you should be able to support each other and grow together, is what the idea behind is. And coming to the fourth point, which is the grooming. As you all know that the industry itself is called as a glamorous industry, and we always look for the people who are well groomed, well matured, and well presented. So grooming is not a part of the journey. It should become a lifetime factor in your like how your daily duties happens in your way. So grooming should always be the same. And we would also very keenly look for the energetic and enthusiastic professionals across the country, who can give their best output to the benefit of the airline and the industry as well. So moving to the next slide. Guys, am I audible? Can someone raise your voice? It's like, I'm talking at one way.
Yes, you are pretty much very clear. Very, very clear. Pretty
Great,
audible.
great. Am I going?
No, perfect. Perfect. You're going in the right pace. Perfect.
Great. Thank you. And so it was upon request from DIP that I have mentioned a couple of things about the pilot training, and we will talk about in depth in this particular slide. Basically, upon request from the DIP, they have told me to talk something about how the pilot training happens and what are the basic requirements to get inside and how to become a commercial pilot in India, in Indian aviation. So basically, it all needs, you need to be at least 18 years of age, which out of which in 17 you can start your pilot training actually. 17 years, and 16 years you can start your student pilot license, which is just basically after +2 you can quickly get inside, and it would all need a very good communication with high school degree, that is your +2, with at least 50% in mathematics and physics. Physics and maths is definitely compulsory. Without that, it would be very difficult to become a pilot in India, and the English level should be 4. And what the English standard should be is a set standard, as the internationally communication language in the aviation is English only. So the retirement age of the airline pilot is 67 years. So this data is being collected from Indian DGCA website only. However, to deep dive into more, I would like to say to become a pilot, there are 3 ways in total. One is to become a commercial pilot. You can always choose a flying school and you can get an admission into that post your medicals. There will be 2 types of medical examinations, class 1 and class 2. And class 2 will be the first medical examination that will be conducted, followed by class 1. And then you can also become a fighter pilot. You can also serve the nation by writing your Air Force Common Admission Test, combined defense services, and many other competitive exams. You can also apply for Coast Guard if you wanted to become a pilot, and there are many other, but these are subjected to the age factor. However, to become a commercial pilot in any airline, in case there is a program that is being conducted by Indigo and SpiceJet, where they intake the staff by putting a competitive exam. You have to clear that exam, and you can also get into the commercial pilot program, where you will be able to sign a bond for the airline and work there for continuously for 5 years. And down the line, you will be able to see yourself as a captain. So that is the brief idea of a commercial pilot license, because commercial pilot license is something, a very huge topic, which could not be covered in this particular session or may not be covered in 1 or 2 slides. So it is like an ocean. So that the more you dive, the more you get to know. That's how it is. So this is just the basic outflow or the overview of it. And taking through to the next slide. So finally, I had come to the summary page. This is the gist of this session, what we have spoken about so far over the last 30 or 40 minutes. And see, all I wanted to say is that, the industry is taking a major turn when it comes to its growth, development, and many factors are influencing in a positive way and in a negative way as well. But however, we as a person who are keen to learn and who are motivated individuals will always look at the positive sides of the industry. And I would personally feel, over working for the last 10 years, I feel that this point is the right time to upskill yourself, and you scale up in your career by entering into the aviation with a flying colors. This is with this I would say that aviation is never expected. It is not something which is which you presume. It is very volatile, and it keeps changing every now and then. And one who is flexible and adaptable can definitely survive and succeed in this industry, is what I would say. And with this, I summarize. And if there are any questions, so we will take up that quickly. Muthu.
Sure, sure. Do we have any questions from the audience? Any of you who wants to know more about the the aviation industry, or the recruitment standards, or the qualities or the skills that somebody should possess, any questions pertaining to this, you can feel free to unmute yourself and ask.
You can ask me about anything. It is not that whatever the best I could answer, I could definitely do my.
There's one question in the chat box. It
Yes,
says,
please.
Sonal is asked. Yeah, Sonal is asked, what is the qualification required for ground staff?
So basically, to become a ground staff, you must have a degree, may it be science degree or arts degree. You must have a degree, and it should be a regular degree. That's all. That's the academic qualifications. And if you want me to say the personal qualifications, you should be good at English, you should be presentable, and you should always be motivated, and you should be confident. That's all we look at.
So science or arts, is it? Commerce is not accepted, is it?
Anything. Any degree.
Any
graduation. Any degree. Any bachelor's degree.
Okay, super. And what is the qualification required for aerosters? That is again the same person is asking. Sonal is asking the same question.
No, if it is pilot and air hostess, it is just that you have to complete your 10+2 with maths and physics, 50% of aggregate.
So 12th is enough for air hostess and the pilot, is it?
Absolutely.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
Absolutely. Like I said before, we need the industry needs a lot of young potential people where they can serve the airline for a longer period of time, and they can shape up their career if they start their career soon. That's what it basically behind the screens.
Right. Would you like, this is my question, would you like to share some experience on some recruitments pertaining to the aviation industry, because that will help people to groom themselves and probably develop their skills, probably enroll themselves for some courses and develop completely on the right directions.
Certainly, definitely. I have a couple of points to talk about. This is actually a very good question, which would help a lot of people in case if they wanted to, get inside the aviation industry. I had participated in tons and tons of aviation recruitments, and out of the crowd, I have observed a couple of things. One major experience which I will share it with you. That is about a cabin crew interview drive. So there are 100+ candidates across the drive, and who had come from a lot of people at India, and so we always find that the resume is not that attractive, number one, which carries 20% of their recruitment marks. And you should.
Can you repeat that?
The resume seems to be very old type of resume. So they don't innovate their resume. Like say, for an example, you can always go for a graphical resume, which would put you out of the crowd, right?
Visual resume.
Yeah, visual resume. So there is no for that. You can always go for it. We welcome it actually. And coming to the grooming part, most of the times people were not groomed as per the industry standards. How an air hostess or how a ground professional would represent themselves in the airport. We wanted the same style to be represented at the interview session. So which can be upskilled through, there are a lot of courses in the market available. If you take FlySky Aviation Academy is doing fantastic job in terms of upskilling, especially in the grooming and communication, which the industry needs and as per the industry standards. So that is one major thing which I have noticed personally. And second is about the approach and the confidence in the person. If you maintain an eye contact with the person who is interviewing you, so that would really make a difference, and that would ease out the interview for the interviewer as well as for the candidate. So that's what I mean. And so these are the basic things which I have noticed that most of the people are lacking behind. And see, we do not ask the technical stuff. If you wanted to become a cabin crew, we would not ask you to open the engine and work on it, right? So we would love to see from the people that what do you know about the airline, do a background research before coming to the airline. Where is this airline brought from? Who is the CEO? How many people are there? From when are they operating? What are the destinations that they're operating? So without an R&D, there is no point you going for an interview is what my approach is, right? You got my point, isn't it?
Right.
So these are the couple of things. Like I said before, everything we would not be able to explain it in depth, but this is the basic outline of it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more question is, I am doing my master's. Can I apply? If yes, how do I apply?
Apply for what?
The aviation industry, any job that suits their requirement?
Yeah, certainly. It's like, say, for an example, if you're doing your MBA, and you could always get into a corporate office of the airline, of any airline for that matter. If you see, our Indigo Airlines corporate office is in Delhi. Similarly, Jet Airways corporate office is in Mumbai. Air India is in Delhi again. So you can always find out the opportunities and you can apply. MBA is an added value to the candidate in case if he is completed from a good reputed university, and if he has the right skill set, he can always get into a lot of positions. There is sales, marketing, and administration, and many other portfolios which are available with the corporate section. You can always go through their website and you can choose the particular career option and you can apply for it.
Awesome. All right, great. So there's one more question from Sanjay. It says, can you suggest any good institute in Bangalore for training on ground staff?
There are many. If I have to say, the institutes have like a mushrooms in the market. Every corner and every street you find an institute, and everybody says that we give you 100% placement, and we give you this, we give you that. So don't fall for this myths. I would personally say, in case if you choose an institute, choose from how long they are in the industry, number one. Number two, how consistent they are. And number three, check if there are any previous placements that has been happened. And fourth thing is that, how good is the academy? Are they giving placement guarantee or placement assurance? So find out the difference. According to me, I had find some good hope in the Fly Sky Aviation Academy, which I have associated with over the last 3 to 4 years. And I feel somehow this institute is doing pretty well. But however, I'm not saying that, you definitely go and join here, but it is about your research. If I had to suggest, I would definitely suggest Fly Sky Aviation Academy, which is there in the market consistently over the last decade. And they have a proven track record, and they have a qualified instructors, and the team is very strong. The management is very strong behind the masterminds, I would say. So this is my suggestion, if I have to say.
Thank you so much for the wonderful words, Vishnuvardhan. Thank you.
Pleasure is on my Dr. Satish.
Yeah, we have Dr. Satish here from Fly Aviation.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Great. Can I share the screen if
yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me just continue. Okay. So. All right. One more question that I have, because just to help or benefit the people, who's been here a participant, can you throw some light on the qualities, behavior, attitude, or skills that one should possess in, to come in the aviation industry? Let's say being a ground staff, or being there in the flight as a flight attendant, or any of these responsibilities. What kind of a personality do you look at? I mean, what is that? Maybe if I would say, 5 best points, 5 best skills that they should come with, or what would that be?
Basically, like I said before, the aviation industry definitely will not look for the people who build the rocket. The rocket people who building the rocket will go to NASA. But however, we wanted people who are very enthusiastic, very keen to learn the new technology.
Just a second. I think somebody's mic is on. Somebody's on. May I request them to mute so that we go undisturbed? Yeah, please proceed, Mr. Vishnuvardhan. Yes, you're on mute.
Yeah, so like I was saying, it is all about how presentable you are and how good you are at the communication, and what kind of technology that you are being engraved upon. Just to be very simple and crystal clear, we would need somebody who can communicate very well, who can groom themselves very well, because once they are being employed in the airline industry, they would be the face of the airline, who will be talking to billions and billions of passengers on a daily basis, and they would represent the brand of the airline. That is what we basically look at. If they are able to communicate properly, and if they're able to make an eye contact, and if they are confident about what they are doing, that is what we basically look at. So the person who comes into an airline will anyways be trained on all the policy systems and procedures and everything, from the top to bottom. But all we would need is that, how do we deliver it to the crowd? How do we deliver it to the passengers? How do we deliver it to our fellow colleagues? And how are we exhaling ourselves in the industry is what we look at. It is not you join, you work for some time and you go. No, it is aviation airline industry is a journey where you start and there is no ending for it. So this is it about.
Right. So I also come from HR background for 21 years now. So probably let me try and summarize and understand if I've got that right. I mean, probably you can correct me if I'm wrong. So what I understand is that for aviation industry, one primary important quality that one should have is the grooming standard. Amazing, good grooming standards, because cleanliness, hygiene practices, and looking good, decent, all that is very important. Looking professional. The second thing is about soft skills, because while they talk to the prestigious people, maybe somebody who travels by air is, for a business meeting, and normally we
the corporates.
Yes, corporates. So they should be really good with soft skills, and maybe they should be really good with attitude, and a good team player is what some of the points that you specified before. Maybe they should be really good with they should empathize. These are some of the things that would really help them to be a good fit for the aviation industry, right? Yeah,
that's correct. Yes, that's what I would mean in brief. Yeah.
right, great. Anybody else has any questions, feel free to share. Okay, there it looks like okay, there are some more questions. Mr. Sanjay is asking, is certification really required?
Certificate will add value to their resume, as well as it will keep them out from the crowd. Like if I am interviewing 25 people, and I would definitely choose a person who has a certification, because he would have some basic knowledge where I would be able to train him easily. That's an interviewer approach, isn't it?
Okay, so
that's
certificates will probably give them a confidence that at least basics are trained, so I can groom him really well. So that gives the confidence to the mentor and the recruiter, right?
That's correct. Yes.
All right. Awesome. Okay. All right. I don't see any other questions here in Zoom. Maybe there might be some questions in YouTube, because we've been live in YouTube too. We are from, okay, there's one more question. We are from Vizag, and friends join the course in Bangalore. Okay. All right. So he wants your number or something like that, so that there are some people, group of friends wants to join from Vizag. They wanted to come to Bangalore. And
no, this is over to Satish, because Satish would take this question. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Great. No problem at all. I don't see any other questions here. Maybe in YouTube, we might have some questions. Let me check if any questions on YouTube. Just a second. Let me just check. Any questions on YouTube? All right. Cool. Sounds good. We proceed further. I must say, Mr. Vishnuvardhan, it is fantastic. I really enjoyed. I get to know a little more about the aviation industry, because post-COVID, I was just thinking what would happen, to the aviation industry. Completely dropped. I mean, it has fallen down completely. So will they really take up and proceed forward, or I mean, what will be the future? I was thinking a lot. Maybe all those questions got answered today, and thank you so much for being very soft, cool, nice, composed in answering all the questions, and probably clarifying all the doubts. Thank you so much, Mr. Vishnu.
No, the pleasure is all mine, and my thanks to Fly Sky and Disciples India Group.
Right.
I wish you good luck for both the institutions. You should be more and more. You should conduct this kind of webinars to encourage students to guide them, because there is no proper guidance for the current youth. And I would say, if they use this platform as much as they can, it will definitely lead to their success, is what I firmly believe.
Absolutely.
I wish good luck for everybody, each and every person who is working with Disciples India Group, as well as Fly Sky Aviation Academy. My best wishes to you.
Thank you. So may I request Smriti Krishna to give the word of thanks?
Sir. Good evening, everyone. Today, we have gathered for the 93rd sections of Disciples India on the topic post-COVID-19 changes in aviation industry and career opportunities. We have got an idea of the changes in aviation sector and the opportunities awaiting us. I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Vishnuvardhan C for sharing his knowledge with us, and I thank Mr. Muthukumar for hosting the session. Also, I thank Ms. Sheetal Prasandan for introducing the guest. Last but not least, I thank everyone for joining the program and making it successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti. All right. So may I request all of you to, click the link that is shared in the chat window, so that, you can give us a quick feedback and get your e-certificates. Once you fill up the feedback form, the e-certificates will be delivered to your inbox. All right. So while we do this, may I request all of you to stand up. As a process, we play a national anthem. Maybe we can switch off our screen and stand up for a moment while we finish our national anthem. As a process, we respect and we do that. Thank you.
Jana mana adhinayaka jaya he, Bharat bhagya vidhata. Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravida, Utkala, Banga, Vindhya, Himachala, Yamuna, Ganga, Uchala, Jaladhi, Taranga. Tava Shubha Name Jage, Tava Shubha Ashish Mange, Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha, Jana Gana Mangala Dayak Jaya He, Bharat Bhagya Vidhata, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya 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 He.
Thank you all. All right. So for those of you who want to connect with Disciples India, probably. So that's the website and that's the Gmail ID that you folks can connect with. And we also would be posting up the pictures of the presentation. When I say presentation, I'm talking about the video that we had now. So we would have clicked a couple of screenshots to share it, and say just to say one hi to all the folks in the Facebook. So you can click like, share as feedback. Also, you can reach out to Disciples India Group in Facebook, and you can see our Facebook photos updated there. Right. For you to become a member of the Disciples India Group, you can reach out to Dr. Sandhya, or you can reach out to me and Mr. Parthos and Satish, Shivaprasad and Akhilesh. For those of you who is asking about joining a course, you can reach out to Mr. Satish number which is out here. Mr. Satish will be the right person for you to be connected for the course here. All right. I'll leave the screen for about next 10-15 seconds, and for those of you who wants to make a note of the number of Mr. Satish or anybody out here to join our group, please feel free to. Okay, on a count of 10, I would close the session. Thank you all. We really appreciate your time and efforts in joining us. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.